All right, let's get real for a moment about a career in pharmacy in India. We're going to peel back the layers, move past the usual assumptions, and talk about the real costs, the actual salaries, and a pretty surprising truth about the job market that, honestly, could change everything for you. You've probably heard this one before, right? Oh, you couldn't become a doctor? Well, pharmacy's the next best thing. This idea, it frames this entire career not as a passion, not as a first choice, but as a backup plan. And that single perception, it has this massive ripple effect across the whole industry. We're about to see just how deep it goes.
And for me, this is personal. My own dad wanted to be a doctor, but life had other plans, and he ended up spending his entire career as a medical representative. So I literally grew up with these conversations at the dinner table. That's why I really want to unpack what the journey is actually like for someone starting out today.
So, what does it really take to become a pharmacist? Let me tell you, it is so much more than just putting on a white coat. Let's break down the whole educational journey and, the investment that comes with it.
Okay, so the path is basically broken down into three main levels. First up, you've got the 2-year diploma in pharmacy. That's your D Pharm. Then there's the 4-year bachelor's degree, the B Pharm. And if you really want to specialize and get into the nitty-gritty, you can go for the 2-year master's degree, the M Pharm.
Now, this is where things start to get complicated. A staggering 70%. Think about that, 7 out of 10 of all qualified pharmacists in India stop right at the diploma level. This creates this huge bottleneck at the bottom, just flooding the market and pushing wages down for most people. It's what you could almost call the diploma trap.
And the financial side of it, it's a big deal. A B Pharm from a government college, you're looking at maybe 5 to 7 lakh rupees all in. But if you go the private route, wow, you could easily be looking at 15 to 20 lakh rupees, maybe even more once you add in 4 years of just, living.
And of course, the costs don't stop with just tuition. But honestly, the biggest hidden expense is the opportunity cost. See, to get the really good jobs, you might need that M Pharm. That's 6 years of studying. Meanwhile, an engineer starts earning after just 4. That's a 2-year head start on making money that is really, really tough to catch up on.
So, you've put in all that time, all that money. Now for the million-rupee question. What's the actual payoff? Let's get into the real numbers when it comes to salary. This chart just lays it all out so clearly. A D Pharm holder, they're starting around 20,000 rupees a month, and it might take them more than 10 years to hit a salary ceiling of 8 to 10 lakhs a year. Now, a B Pharm graduate, they hit that same ceiling in about half the time. And an M Pharm, well, that specialization just opens up a whole different level of earning potential, especially in hot fields like clinical research. And here's our really harsh reality, especially for D Pharm holders. There's this troubling trend where pharmacies hire them just for their license, basically to be a pharmacist on paper, but their skills aren't used. Instead, someone who isn't qualified is often the one actually handing out medicine. This doesn't just devalue the diploma, it's a serious risk to public safety.
Okay, so you've got the degree. Now what? Where do you actually go to work? Let's take a look at the job landscape.
The two most common starting points are either retail or hospital pharmacies. Retail, well, it often means long, grueling hours on your feet for a salary that's pretty much on par with a call center job. Hospital pharmacy, on the other hand, it pays better, but it is a super high-pressure environment and the jobs are scarce and incredibly competitive. Now, for B Pharm and M Pharm grads, corporate pharma is an option. You've got roles in production, quality control, or clinical research, which is all about managing drug trials. But breaking in, it is brutally tough. We're talking 500 applications for one single opening. And these jobs, they're all clustered in a few industrial hubs. So yeah, you should probably be prepared to pack your bags.
And then, of course, there's the path my own father took, becoming a medical representative. It's a high-stress, high-reward sales job. Look, it is not for everybody. But if you've got that knack for sales, the pay is all driven by incentives, which means the earning potential can be absolutely huge.
Okay, now we get to the real heart of the matter. This is arguably the single biggest challenge, and believe it or not, also the single biggest opportunity for any aspiring pharmacist in India right now.
So what is this elephant in the room? What is the one factor that completely changes the entire game for every single person graduating with a pharmacy degree?
It's this number, 400,000. That is roughly how many pharmacy graduates India produces every single year. And this is the number of open jobs available for them, 75,000.
The gap between supply and demand isn't just big, it's a canyon, and that canyon changes everything.
This huge oversupply has created a kind of vicious cycle. Think about it. Companies have a ton of candidates to pick from, right? So salaries stay low. And because salaries are low, a lot of the brightest students decide to go into other fields. This leads to a massive quality crisis, where you have this enormous pool of graduates, but a real shortage of truly top-tier talent.
But, and this is a huge but, this is where the whole story completely flips. Because wherever there's a crisis, there is always a powerful opportunity just waiting for the right person to seize it.
See, this crisis has created what I like to call a quality vacuum. There's a massive shortage of truly skilled professionals. So if you're dedicated, if you're always learning and upskilling, and if you're willing to work hard, you can rise to the top unbelievably fast. Your real competition isn't the other 400,000 graduates, it's just the challenge of becoming one of the absolute best.
So what's the bottom line here? In so many other fields, you can be brilliant, you can be the best, and you still need a healthy dose of luck to succeed. But pharmacy in India today, it's different. Because of this quality vacuum, it's one of the very few industries where your hard work has a direct, almost certain link to your success. The path is clear. Your career is genuinely in your own hands.